I started Elegantly Sculpted for two reasons. The first was to remind myself that whenever I'm going through something difficult in pursuit of a goal, whether I'm pushing myself at the gym or trying to solve a difficult problem at work or building my business, that the struggle is not in vain. Think about the sculptures we admire in places like Rome. A sculptor does not create a masterpiece in one effortless moment. The process is slow and meticulous. It requires patience, precision, and long hours of repetitive work. The stone has to be chipped away at, refined, smoothed, before it becomes the piece of art we eventually see and come to admire. And I believe the same thing happens to us. When we go through difficult seasons, we are being shaped, we are being refined, parts of us are being strengthened, and those parts that no longer serve us are being chipped away. Essentially, we're becoming elegantly sculpted. The second reason is because I'm a woman. There is something remarkable about the way a woman moves through adversity. Whether it's a breakup, whether it's giving birth, whether it's rebuilding after failure or any other difficult season, women have an incredible ability to emerge transformed. Like a butterfly, we blossom. We come out stronger, wiser, softer in some places, and more resilient in others. We do not always look like what we've survived. We become even more beautifully shaped by those experiences. We become elegantly sculpted. And the amazing thing is that I'm yet to meet a woman who doesn't carry this very essence within her. I truly believe that it is innate in us as women. The ability to endure, adapt, and rebuild into something much more beautiful than what we were before. This is what Elegantly Sculpted is about, a platform created by a woman dedicated to women. It's about honoring and leaning into the journey of becoming the woman of your dreams. It's not only about sculpting your body, it's about sculpting your mind, sculpting your character, sculpting your confidence, and ultimately sculpting your life. It's about sculpting her. Becoming the woman of your dreams doesn't happen simply because you desire it. It requires intention. And this is where Grit by Angela Duckworth comes in. Lesson 1. Hard work beats genetics when genetics fails to work hard. One of the arguments that Duckworth makes in Grit is that we often place too much importance on talent. We look at people who are successful and assume that they achieve their results because they're naturally gifted or talented. And much as is the same in the realm of fitness, we look at another woman's body and think she has better genetics. We think she has a naturally smaller waist. We think she naturally builds muscle faster. We think she just enjoys working out. And we think that discipline probably comes really easy to her. And while genetics can influence your shape, much like talent is not enough, genetics is not enough either. Angela explains that effort counts twice. In the first instance, it counts when talent combined with effort produces skill. And in the second instance, it counts when skill combined with more effort produces results or achievement. So, what does this mean? Well, in fitness, it means that though you may have the perfect genetics for building muscle, you still need to exert effort and train consistently. Though you may have a naturally curvy body, you still need to maintain it. And while you may know everything about fat loss, protein, and strength training, that knowledge alone is not going to do anything for you unless you apply it repeatedly, intentionally, and correctly. And this lesson was particularly important for me Because even though I had been training for 10 years, I still was not making the progress that I believe I should have made. I had experience, I had knowledge, I knew how to use the gym, and I was pretty confident. But simply spending years in the gym did not mean I was training effectively. I needed to train with greater intention. The woman who achieves her fitness goal is not always the genetically gifted or naturally athletic or most knowledgeable person in the room or anywhere. It's often the woman who continues applying effort in the right way for long enough. Not the woman who has sporadic bursts of intensity occasionally, but the woman who is consistent over a long period of time. Another excellent point that Duckworth makes is that we often confuse intensity with consistency. Anyone can be extremely motivated for a short period of time. They can train for 6 days a week, ensure the diet is on point, and hit 15K steps a day. But the real question is it sustainable? Over time, you will come to realize that consistency matters far more than short bursts of intensity. Small, repeated efforts compound over months and years. And this is where grit becomes essential. Grit is about continuing to work hard even when motivation feels low. Even when progress is slow, the excitement fades and the process becomes difficult. Grit is what keeps you going when you are stressed, tired, or discouraged. It's what keeps you going when the scale doesn't change and you start doubting whether your effort is even working. It's the ability to stay committed to the bigger picture despite changing emotions and circumstances. In fitness, grit is rarely extreme. It means doing 2 workouts instead of your 4 because it's been a really tough week. It means going for a walk because it's your luteal phase and you barely have any energy. Or simply returning back to your routine after an unplanned meal or a really horrible week. Grit is not perfection, nor is it the absence of fatigue or doubt. And I can say that because even now, as I'm filming this video, I've got so much doubt, but I'm gonna keep on going, okay? It's the refusal to let these moments that I'm going through right now disconnect you from your goal and what it is that you're trying to do. You don't need flawless execution. You don't need perfection. You just need to keep showing up and commit to being the CEO of your transformation. This is what allows effort to compound and eventually leads to results. Lesson number 2. Pursuit comes first and then passion follows. The second lesson that I took from grit is that passion doesn't always appear instantly. Sometimes, in fact, most times, interest develops the more involved you become in something. And this is important because many people say they don't work out simply because they don't enjoy it. But what if I told you that's not the real issue? And I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm coming off script, but I am so passionate about this. Like, I really need you guys to listen to this point. You not enjoying doing something actually isn't the issue, okay? Listen carefully. The real issue is that you don't enjoy working out because it doesn't yet feel comfortable. It doesn't yet feel comfortable enough to be enjoyable. It doesn't yet feel comfortable enough for you to begin to discover that you like this or you're good at that. It does not yet feel comfortable. Think about it. When you first enter the gym, everything is new. You're not used to the equipment. You feel self-conscious. You don't even understand what exercises you should do for what part of your body, how, when. You don't know any of that. You don't feel strong, you don't feel fit, maybe you feel uncomfortable in your own body. And because you're not yet confident or competent, the experience is not enjoyable. But if you persevere, something begins to change. You begin to understand your program, whether it's fat loss, whether it's building muscle. You start lifting heavier and handling weights you didn't even think your body was capable of. Your technique improves, your body changes, you have more energy, and you start feeling good about yourself. And suddenly, something that felt so difficult and so hard now starts to become a source of happiness and enjoyment for you. This is what happened to me. When I started working out at 17, I didn't enjoy it. In fact, I found exercise to be grueling and tough. But, when I started liking what I was seeing in the mirror and people were stopping me in the streets and telling me I look good, I started to like it a lot. It's not that I have a desire to exercise. In fact, still to this day, 11, 12 years on, I still find it tough. I still find it grueling. And sometimes I procrastinate in a bid to somehow try and avoid it. But rather, I'm passionate about improving myself. I'm passionate about exercising my potential. I'm passionate about not letting myself down and keeping the promises I've made to myself. Even if I fail, even if I'm not good, even if it takes me 10 years to make substantial progress. I enjoy becoming stronger. I enjoy learning more about my body. I enjoy seeing what happens when I remain committed and keep the promises I've made to myself. I even enjoy learning from my failures, and I have failed a lot, and not just in fitness, in many other aspects of my life. I have failed. I enjoy knowing that through my daily choices, I am slowly but surely becoming and evolving into the woman of my dreams. But beware, repeated effort or doing something again and again is only one piece of the puzzle. Duckworth teaches us that it's not enough to simply repeat a task over and over and over again. You must be intentional, you must be purposeful, you must pay attention. Let's use the gym as an example. Week in and week out, you can go to the gym, do the same exercises, use the same weights, and make the same mistakes. But that repetition alone will not create improvement. It will not allow you to make progress. Rather, progress in repetition is what creates improvement. So you have to ask yourself these questions. Is your form improving? Are you becoming stronger? Are you increasing your reps or your weight? Are you training the muscle you're supposed to be training? In other words, are you progressing? It's far easier to identify the areas that need improvement and make those improvements than it is to simply work harder. And here's the beautiful thing. Consistency becomes so much more easier and so much more rewarding when you can see that you're making progress and that you're getting better at what it is that you're doing. The improvement creates interest, and interest paves the way for passion. The stronger you become, the more confident you feel. The more confident you feel, the more likely you are to continue. So instead of waiting to feel passionate about fitness, start by first becoming curious. What are you doing? What are you working out? What muscles are you working on? How many reps are you supposed to do? Why are you supposed to do those reps? Why do you need to eat more protein? Why does your diet need to be on point? Become curious. Learn about your body. Track your progress. What happens if for 1 week you do 15K steps and for another week you just stick to your 10? Give yourself enough time to learn. Give yourself enough time to be curious. Give yourself enough time to make improvements. Give yourself enough time to progress. Give yourself enough time to become good at what you're doing. And as a result, you will discover that your passion will grow with your pursuit.